Hello lovelies and welcome back to the channel. So I have another scrapbook layout for you today. I was going through my niece's album trying to sort it out a bit and printing off some photos. I attempted to make my own pocket page with a fuse tool. It kind of worked, but I don't know if I'll keep it that way. But yeah, so basically I was going through her album and sorting out some pictures, and I saw this picture and I thought I may as well scrap it while I had it out. So this is the picture I'm using as sort of like the title page for her album. This was the announcement picture my sister used to announce her birth. And it ended up being a really quick layout. So I had 15 minutes before I had to go leave to pick up the boys from school. And I thought I'd see what I could get done. And surprisingly, I got the whole layout done in about 12 minutes. So if you can guess by that, it's a very quick, very simple, very basic layout. This picture had a lot of white and little bits of pink, so I knew I wanted to have a pink pattern paper background. I felt it needed a lot of pink. And so I decided to go with one of the pattern papers that I had in that baby girl stash I was telling you about in the last video. And yeah, I went from there. So to map my photo, because I really wanted that photo to pop, I put some white gesso down, and then because I felt like it needed a bit of bling and a bit of sparkle, I used a Color Blast shimmer spray in, I think, Blush, I think it's called, and just did some splatters because I can't not. And then I'm just drying it with my heat gun because I have no patience, and then I'm going to mount my photo right in the middle. I wanted to give it some dimension, so I used some craft foam. I don't use foam adhesive because I find, one, I need a lot if I'm doing a whole picture, and two, it tends to warp my picture for some reason. So I use craft foam. Literally, I get a piece of craft foam, I use some wet glue, and I stick it down. First, I'm actually going to mat the photo on some white cardstock to give it a border because I like pretty borders. I wanted to give the whole layout a white border. After I was done, I looked at it and thought if I mounted it on some white cardstock, it might just really make that layout pop a bit more. But that means I got to cut down my paper, and yeah, so I haven't done that yet. I might change my mind, but yeah, as it is, I've just left it for now. So I've mounted my photo on some white cardstock, and now I'm going to put the adhesive, the foam behind it. So yeah, literally these are just pieces of craft foam. I buy them in a packet from usually a junk store. I think you can get them from Spotlight as well, but if I ever see some sheets of craft foam, I just grab them in packets. I would have more if Will stopped running off with them. He tends to steal them for whatever reason. But I have a drawer to my left, and I just keep the offcuts in there, and as you can see, I generally have enough to piece together what I need. This is also how I pop up some embellishments as well. You'll see me do it in a few videos. Instead of using adhesive, foam adhesive, I'll just use craft foam and wet glue. So because I knew I was on a time limit, when I decided to do this layout, I grabbed a few things from my stash that I thought would work. When I say my stash, I mean my baby girl stash that I have. In my last video, I explained that when my niece was born, I went and bought a whole bunch of baby girly pretty stuff because I didn't have any, because 2 boys, 2 nephews, now 3 nephews. I had a lot of boy collections and boy things, not so many girly things. So when she was born, I went on a buying binge and bought a whole bunch of pretty stuff that I could use for her album. And it's all been sitting on my desk because the goal was to finish this album before my new nephew was born, which I didn't get done, but I am working towards it. But yeah, so I went through that stash and pulled out some things that I could use to embellish it. Like I say many times, if I'm going to use something, it has to be within close range. I'm not going to get up in the middle of a layout and go looking through my stash. So I tend to go get things out that coordinate and that work and have them close by so I can go through them. And that's what I did here. I had some things from a few collections, and I'm just going through the ephemera pack and I'm just pulling out some things, and I've made a nice little cluster down on the bottom right hand side, and I've also making a little cluster up the top as well. I've used some not foam adhesive, I keep going to say foam adhesive. I used some craft foam to pop up my little butterfly as well. I really like giving my embellishment clusters dimension, and by doing that, I just feel everything's not so flat, and I just like the way it looks. I haven't put a title on this layout because this layout is basically the start of this album, and it doesn't really need a title because all her birth details are right there, so it didn't really need a title. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, it was a really quick layout. I did it in less than 15 minutes, which was really good because when I finished it was time to go. But I do go back and add some more, a few more pink splatters, and then I think, nah, I need something a bit more blingy. So I go back with my gold and just add a few more splatters here and there. I wanted some big fat gold drops as well, so I use the stick of the applicator to actually draw a few more prominent gold circles so that they'd stand out a little bit. I don't know, I just like bling. I feel little girl albums and just need a lot of bling and sparkle. So that's it for my video today. It was a very, very quick layout, but I do love how it turned out, and I think this is going to be a great first page in her album. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back real soon with a new video. Bye for now.